You saw the numbers, you listened to the call. What'd you think?
I think it's a continual issue that they've been facing, which are the top line is not the problem. Below the line is what they need to rationalize. And
so for you, it's a spending story. This cost per click dropping 29% year over year is not something to be concerned about?
I'd be more worried if their core advertising business were slowing. They've grown that business for 12 quarters over 20%. It's an almost $30 billion business. Core business is fine. Expenses are tough, growing. They're buying new markets. I'm not worried about that right now. It's not that expensive a stock. They've grown the business over 20% for the last 2 years. The stock's basically sideways.
Would you buy the stock at this price?
I would, and I think you have lots of ways to win. They don't really break out YouTube, but that's still 2 billion monthly average users there, and you're getting
lots.
Why
has this stock moved sideways? I mean, it doesn't look like it on the screen, but if you look at it over a long enough period, it basically is what you just said.
I think portfolio managers have found other ways to be overweighted, other of the higher growth tech companies that we've talked about. Those have been places where they've paid more attention to. I think this has become a cheaper stock, and I think it's become more of a value stock, if you can believe that, for some growth managers, and I think they're going to pay more attention to that as the year progresses.
And very little value assigned, as you said, to YouTube. What kind of value do you assign to a Waymo? What kind of value do you assign to a multitude of businesses that go under the radar and are hard to even decipher, frankly?
Well, it's funny. I call Facebook the most mercantile company in the world. They don't do anything besides making money for things they do. This company has 7 or 8 different moonshots, if you will, where they're spending lots of money below the line. They're spending way more money than Microsoft on R&D, and they don't really break it out, and there's lots of ways for them to win. I think their options and companies like that investors don't value that right now. And I think you will find places for them to win.
And do you think there will be a day in which they will start to spin these businesses out?
I do. I mean, you look at the healthcare, what they're doing. Waymo's a good example. Clearly, what they're doing in autonomous, what they're doing in just other. Other is one of their biggest line items, and I think they're going to win there.
You know, get inside, I guess, management's head on this a little bit, because it's not like the early days of Google where they were just kind of, oh, we have this magic automatic product that just kicks out profits. We're going to do some other fun stuff along the way. What's driving them right now to invest so heavily in these areas? I mean, are they either afraid of their core business no longer being so dominant? Is there a race in certain areas that they feel like they have to compete in?
I think they have 8 different ways which have 1 billion different users, whether it's Gmail or Quark's advertising, YouTube, et cetera. They need to find more ways to win. And I think the fastest growth areas that we've seen other people dominate, whether it's cloud, and clearly these people have sights on billion-dollar opportunities. I think, given how much technology they have, given how much data they have, they are going to win here. Look at that.
But if you're right, when is the rest of the investment community going to wake up? What is going to be the inflection point where they're going to assign a higher value? I assume you need a higher multiple, frankly, on what's going on here.
Yeah, you need a higher multiple. You need them to rationalize their below-the-line story. The above-the-line story, to me, is not the problem. It's the below-the-line story right now. And that's
until they nail that, you think that the stock stays...
Listen, I think over the next 18 months, they will have to break this out for the investing community. If they see a sideways stock that keeps growing 20% in the core business, the investor base and I think management will break this out, and they're going to say, guess what? This little nugget that we haven't been able to talk about is much more fruitful going forward than investor community has, and this will be a multiple expansion story once again.
If I gave you $10,000 to invest in any of the FANGs, is this the top of your list?
This would be at the top of my list.